Hello, I am Hassan Aruni here at King Jimmy Market. It's one of the oldest markets in Freetown, and it's one of the biggest as well. It's the area where the first Sierra Leoneans for whom this country was founded, returned slaves, entered the country, and they walked up the steps, up that way, on their way to freedom. Well, Freetown is in election fever time, and we have here a mayoral candidate, a woman, and her name is Yvonne Akisoya. She's representing the governing party, the APC, who hold Freetown at the moment. And the women, this market is controlled by women, really, really strong women who provide for their families through what they sell here. First, let's say hello to Yvonne Akisoya, the mayoral candidate.
Hi, Hassan, and hello, viewers.
And I have the woman who controls this market, and she's the chair lady, who is called?
Hello, Mr. Chairman.
Your name?
My name is Mrs. Nene Sanko, chair lady for this King Jimmy Market.
So Mrs. Nene Sanko is the boss woman here, the chair lady. And I've got one of your smart ladies here.
Me na our confidence contest under the 7-man committee of Jimmy Market.
Our confidence contest, one of her cabinet members. All right, so you are market women in this place. Tell us about the issues that you face. How are you first?
The problem the way they come across na King Jimmy, we no get store, we no get water facility, then two, like me where they talk so for more I lost me money, don't pass 12 years. I get picking them, I want me to educate. I don't get help right now.
So here you don't have storage facilities, you don't have water facilities, and somebody like yourself, you've lost your husband 11 years ago, you're a single mother, you have children, you don't have anyone to help you. What about you, chair lady, Nene Sanko?
Well, me na the chair lady for the King Jimmy Market. Myself, same thing to me. Myself been don't lost my husband long.
So you too, you lost your husband years ago?
Yes. The pikin and they go school, I get me grand pikin there now. But yeah, we dey face beaucoup problem na this market.
So you have a lot of problems in this market. Yeah. Well, we've got the woman who wants to take over the burden of running this city, Yvonne Akisoya.
Yes, and you describe it as a burden, and actually it is a huge challenge. But the reason I'm doing this, the reason I'm running for mayor, I've been in the private sector all my life. I'm not your sort of typical politician. This is the first time I'm coming into this space. But I'm doing it because I'm really motivated by the fact that so many women and young people aren't getting the future that they deserve at the moment. The city is my home. It's where I was born, it's where I grew up. It's where we grew up as children here, Hassan and I. And over the course of the last 20 years, I've engaged in Sierra Leone's the trajectory, its path. I've engaged at times of crisis, during the war, during Ebola, and again in the recovery post-Ebola. But now, the issues these women are facing is something that's become very, 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 very much my burden.
Okay.
And something I want to address as mayor of the city.
So, you've heard her, she says she wants your problems to be her problem. So what do you want to say to her?
Well, what you want to tell her, the problem the way we get there. You see, when they say King Jimmy, I came for the markets. All the other markets there, now they come buy.
So she's saying, first of all, when they say King Jimmy Market, this is the king of all the markets. Others come here to buy their produce.
For Kerangona, then different markets them.
To take to different markets.
Yes, but we rent they don't pay, we stand they don't pay, we will not get markets. Even when we bridge for Donaya, the bridge for Don, it carry beaucoup markets and go, it destroy the market all broke. 30 days they not build the markets.
So they are hit by rain, they're exposed to the sun, they have no shelter, and even when the culvert above them collapsed one rainy season, a lot of people's goods were carried away. And to this day, nobody has rehabilitated this market.
So we tell God thank you for BBC Media. Anyway, BBC Media with Mr. Hassan, God bless them. Because International Women's Day, now they make law, know. If they come at this market, they can run at the market. Now if they come buy. They can meet with that time the International of Women's Day they come. He said, when I know this day where they come, now when I day they cancel.
But we want to talk about your problems now, not about the work we've done with you. So you've heard, Yvonne, about some of their big concerns. Looking around the market, see? This is the market that, it's been venerated in Freetown. There's even a song about King Jimmy. King Jimmy Bonga Sweet, you know. But look at the state of the market. And when you look at it, how do you feel as a Freetonian who wants to be mayor of Freetown City?
I feel motivated to make a difference. And the reality is, this market, it's one of the biggest, yes, but it's not the biggest and it's not the only one. I've spent the last 14 days walking across the city, literally walking, spending on average 3.5 to 4 hours a day going to markets. I've visited probably 85% of the markets in the city. Why am I doing this? Because I care about the situation of the market women. And in order to address it, I need to see it firsthand. I've said to Auntie Nene, because I've been here and spent time with her and her colleagues, I've said to them that I won't allow my term to end without every single constituency having a covered market. And being that they're in the CBD, and we've got a number of other big markets in this area, it won't be limited to one per constituency. King Jimmy, there's something about King Jimmy which we haven't really highlighted, and that's the importance of it from a tourist perspective. This place itself is of such historical significance that we really need to preserve it, but we also need to ensure that we can market it. It's important for their individual lives. As she says, when it rains, they get wet. When the sun shines, they get hot. They need a covered space. They need to have water. They need to have toilet facilities. And they need to have a creche. They hadn't thought about that. But one of the things I've been saying as I've been going around the markets is that I see everywhere kids under the age of 5 playing under the tables of their mothers, sitting on their backs. This is a key time in their lives. And I'm determined as mayor of the city to invest in creche facilities in the marketplaces. So I've heard them, I continue to listen to them, and my biggest challenge now is to ensure that I can mobilize enough revenues to address this question of building the additional structures.
Okay, so Madam Chairlady, you've heard her. She says she's heard you, and she will think about it, she'll continue to hear you, and she will try to help you. How do you feel about what she has said? She says she will build markets. Your response?
Well, we're glad the let God help them.
So you're happy you want God to help her?
Yes. Anybody where they care for help we dey pray God, let God make us succeed. Now, company woman, we not say woman now get sorriness for company woman. And yeah, now so woman and there.
So you're happy because she's a woman,
Yes.
and a woman feels empathy for her fellow woman.
Yes.
And there are so many women here, mostly women.
Yes. And mostly the man they don't die.
And most of them are widows.
Widow. So we there are an historical place. We get one side under.
This is a historical place, and there is a place where there is a stone where some of the European traders and explorers came and wrote on that stone. It's very historical.
So the historical place they will get an aya, but they don't make nothing.
But the place has been abandoned. But then again, I'm wondering though, Nene Sanko, she's not the first politician who's come to you and made promises.
Hey, this it's ranga for we.
It's difficult for you.
So we dey look to copy woman now.
So you are now looking to a fellow woman
Yes, we don't know because this body gets on the heart.
because the woman's breast
Yes.
is full of empathy.
So this guy we don't know. Oh, what?
If she disappoints you,
Yes.
that's the end.
Well, we don't get nothing again what you they believe.
You will not have anything again in the world that you'll believe.
But we dey look up to that.
So she's saying they are looking up to Yvonne Akisoya. Yvonne,
This is happening across the city, not just with markets, but with the state of our schools, with the state of waste management, with the state of health. The problems that Freetown is facing are tremendous. They are enormous. And I understand how jaded they are because, of course, they've had promises in the past. The difference that I hope to bring, and I think one of the reasons why women connect with me because I'm a woman, that's true. But there's another aspect to me that has enabled women and men to connect with me in this city, and that's the fact that I've got a track record of delivering. I mentioned earlier the role that I played during Ebola, the role I played in the post-Ebola recovery of the economy, but perhaps more significantly, and something that speaks to who I am and really truly why I'm doing this, is the fact that for the last 20 years, I've been investing in my own capacity in the voluntary sector, helping young women and children since April 1999, after the 6th of January fiasco. I'm also a private sector investor in this city. So I believe in Freetown, and I trust that these women, knowing my track record, will work with me to enable us to collectively deliver the future they deserve.
And finally, we have a question, by the way, from Babu Wambura in Tanzania, who says, my hope is that good democracy should take place and no civil war. People should go and vote peacefully.
That's my hope as well. We're really preaching to everyone that this has to be a non-violent election.
And very briefly, Nene Sanko, you've heard her. But sometimes when I've come to you, you've complained that people come and canvass your votes. Once they win power, they sit in high towers and they don't even allow access to themselves. That's something that worries you.
Yes. When they got their phone number, then they lost some power.
So even their phone numbers disappear. Yvonne.
Well, I mean, one of the things I've continued to say, my slogan for the campaign is for we community, for we progress, for we Freetown. I'm about being accessible. I've done what other mayors haven't done. I've walked across the city, slums, hilltops, markets, islands, to make sure I meet the people and the people meet me. I don't intend to change that. I have a track record of working with community. I intend to continue to do that.
So, chair lady, you hear that? She says she has a track record. She will leave herself open to you and she will not disappoint you.
And right now, I dey call her. I hope say they lost in telephone number for me because why they call her, they take her quick. It answer me. Hey, what you have, dear lady? What you have? They don't see to you this, that way. So I hope say it will be so.
She says these days when she calls you, your phone number doesn't disappear. You don't ignore her calls. She hopes that will continue.
So for the kids in the villages that I've been working with for the last 20 years, for the young people I've been supporting with scholarships, for the orphans, the 50 Ebola orphans that we look after with SLWT, that has been the case. So Nene, Auntie Nene, I know you're worried, but I can assure you that Yvonne Akisoya will continue to be accessible. I'm doing this because I want to change my city and to change your future and our futures collectively.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, good lady of Kinjimi.
Thank you.
And that's it from me, Hassan Aruni, at the King Jimmy Market in central Freetown. We're on the shoreline here. The Atlantic is on that side, and the rest of Freetown is up this hill slope here. So thank you for tuning in to us on our Facebook Live page. Thank you. Stay tuned to the BBC. We're coming up live at 1700 GMT, and we'll feature Yvonne Akisoya and some other very interesting guests, including some of the market women here at King Jimmy. Have a nice day.